I thought I knew where this show was going. I thought I knew who people were, but who are these people? And what are we doing here? Welcome back, everybody. This is Agatha All Along, our episode 4 review. I am so excited. Clearly, I woke up today. I was excited. I got an address that made me feel witchy. I have my earrings on here that are also super witchy. This is like a room 666, like motel key. It's like demonic vibes, which is very appropriate considering some of the things that we saw in this episode. But before I get into that, just a fair spoiler warning ahead, because we are going to be talking spoilers, and I mean spoilers more than just me saying a demonic thing, like real spoilers. So just a heads up, that's coming in, and I cannot wait to discuss those spoilers with you. We have some doozies in terms of reveals and such. To start off, let's start with a little synopsis of what this episode is about. It's pretty straightforward, I would say. It's really more of Alice's trial. But before we get into that, we do have a lovely returning friend joining our coven, someone that I have been missing and that I am so glad is back. Aubrey Plaza as Rio Vidal, who Rio Vidal is such a vibe. Aubrey Plaza is such a vibe, and I'm super here for it. So I was very glad that she had returned. She ends up getting summoned to replace Debra Jo Rupp's Sharon, who rests in peace. And then we move into Alice's trial here, where she's basically forced to confront her past, her heritage, and her wounds. Also forgiving herself for things that are not responsible in her past, and literally confronting, well, her demon, her curse, her family curse. During this process, Teen's life is put in danger, and while I thought he actually might die here, it just feels like no one is actually safe in this show to me, which I think is something I like about it. He did ultimately make it through in the end. I mean, he's a great character, so it would have been unfortunate to lose him, and if we lost him, I probably wouldn't have believed it to be true, but I digress. He does get saved. He gets saved by Jennifer Kale's potion magic. And after that's resolved, things continue to heat up thanks to the tension between Rio Vidal and Agatha. And we got to keep walking the witch's road. End of the episode. So, what are some things that I noticed in here? What are some things that I liked in here? Well, I will say something that I'm really enjoying with this show is that, as I said in my intro, I do not know where this show is going. I really don't. I know there's the witch's road. I know there's going to be trials. But what we're getting when we get to the end, and who will be there for it, and who is everyone really, I still don't know. I have thoughts, I have theories. But the cool thing about this show is that I feel like every episode we are switching things up in terms of where my theories sit. And I feel like I'm just all over the place in a great way. Also, if you're wondering, yes, I did change my mic's light to green for Rio Vidal, our new Green Witch. I also thought it was interesting how Rio Vidal is asked if she's a green witch. And she said, she's like, something like that. And I feel like she's more a witch that wears green than is necessarily a green witch, which makes me feel like perhaps some of our theories surrounding her being a witch that could be connected to the color green in the comics could be true. Although I also like the theory that she's Blackheart, because I just think it's kind of weird in a way that I feel like fits this show. And, obviously all the Blackheart references. So I'm really liking the fact that I don't fully know where characters are going, where the story is going, beyond the basic premise of what we're here to do. Magic, trials, walk the witch's road, get some magic power. Anything else that happens, it's all free game. I also love the style of this show. I'm really enjoying a lot of the costuming, just a lot of the way even it's shot, I feel like, cinematography-wise. It kind of reminds me of, it's kind of got like some hocus pocus energy to it, which I guess makes sense because it's Disney. It's like a good hocus pocus energy. I'm really enjoying it. I feel like at times the cinematography feels very comforting. At times it feels very dynamic, but it always feels like interesting to me, is something I will say. I'm also really enjoying a lot of the performances in this show. I mean, especially Kathryn Hahn. I gotta give it to her. Every beat in a scene, there is just so much going on with Agatha, and her very distinct choices in terms of just how she physically carries herself. I mean, I would say everyone in this show is just really great. I mean, Patti LuPone is also amazing in this. Can I just say? Everyone is really good. And I feel like everyone is making distinct choices, which I like. And I feel like everyone has a strong sense of their character's journey here. And that translates into the performance. The crazy thing is that we don't know a lot of these characters' journeys. So one of the ones that has surprised me is obviously the death of Sharon. Is Sharon actually gone? I don't know, though, because Sharon died, and I just didn't think that we were going to have such a short appearance just because, I mean, I figured if you have Debra Jo Rupp, you might want to use her more. Now, I don't know if this is related to maybe things that she has said or if there's like some other reasons and she's actually out, or if this is a red herring and we're supposed to believe that she's just a woman and dies when really she's more than that. Because I do think it's interesting that Agatha seems to antagonize her almost after her death and asks basically if like that's the best she can do. And when other people seem to notice what she's saying, she just kind of plays it off. And I thought that was weird. Like as though Agatha actually knows who Sharon really is, but Sharon hasn't revealed her true colors to everyone yet. And now she's dead, but she's more like playing dead. That felt like the implication there, but could have been misreading that situation wrong. So let me know what you thought of that strange line and how you contextualized it. Aubrey Plaza as Rio Vidal is so interesting in this, and I have so many things that I just want to know about her character. I think my favorite thing is just piecing together these characters' backstories and their histories, because I feel like there's so much going on with each character. And I love that it's not all front loaded and it's more like these little pieces we get to collect along the way as we go along the road through the trials with these characters. I will say the costumes were fire, but also there's so much in Booba. It's definitely a very 70s vibe, and I am very here for it. I actually really love 70s fashion as well, just in terms of, not just in terms of me looking at these ladies and being like, wow, these ladies look lovely, but also just in terms of me loving 70s fashion, because I just love how it looks. Not, I mean, on other people, on myself, I just feel like it's such a fun, free, kind of flirty vibe, the 70s. I love all of the deep V's, and also things kind of like just feel like they were probably more comfortable. I don't know though. My friends that have worn 70s fashion, that were around for the 70s and were styling, how comfortable were you? I'd love to know. I even liked the demon in this. The demon was, I feel like, mostly practical as well. I don't know if there was any CG there, but it looked pretty practical to me, and I kind of loved that. The creature design, I was kind of just like okay with. It felt very comic book though. It felt very comic book actually. Now that I think of it, I could literally see it one for one like being in a panel. I don't know if it was a specific demon from something or not, but I did like the look of this demon, and I like more what it represents, and that we just get to learn more about Alice through this trial and get to see her face some of her trauma and rise above it, strengthening that character, strengthening our connection to the character through learning more of her story and learning more about what possibly happened with her mom, which I wonder if we're going to run into her mom, or if her mom basically like gave up everything just for her daughter and we'll never see her again. That would be really sad. Like, I'm not surprised that this episode like did make me feel a bit emotional when they were singing Alice's mom's version of the song Lorna's Ballad. It was, I felt it. I'm not gonna lie. It got like, especially near the end there, it got pretty emotional. It got pretty intense in a great way when you just realize the representation of that song and how she's confronting her fear of something that was actually there to protect her the whole time and was there to remind her of the love. But she was so focused on the loss, it's like she almost forgot all the love that I think was there too. Anyways, I just thought it was really beautiful, I guess. And to that point, I feel that the more I'm learning about all of these characters, the more I'm intrigued by them. I also feel like we keep alluding to Jennifer's backstory a lot, how she kind of became bound. We learn more about that in this episode. In the previous episode, we learn more about her trauma, being drowned. I feel like that's all connected to her being trapped and being bound and losing her power, which we learned about in the first episode. So just getting these little pieces, episode by episode, I find very intriguing. We also get a lot of stuff between Rio and Agatha here. Like, it's alluded to that Rio literally says, Agatha is my scar because I loved someone and then I had a job to do and I had to do that job even though I loved that person. And I'm like, so did Rio betray Agatha? Because maybe they both betrayed each other. I don't know, because it felt initially like Agatha was a betrayer, but now I feel like Rio's a betrayer, but maybe they both betrayed each other. They have a little bit of a romantic moment, and Rio also says to Agatha something very interesting, because we get another bond that's very clearly established between Agatha and Teen, where Agatha clearly feels very emotionally connected to Teen, because when his life is on the line, she's like, we cannot let him go. Like, that is not okay. And she's clearly distressed by facing him dying on the witch's road. Even though we just lost someone else and she didn't seem to really mind that. But it turns out that although we all had some theories, namely I had a theory that Teen could be Nicholas Scratch and could be Agatha's son, it seems more likely that this is not the case. Because Rio does later say to Agatha, and if we want to believe Rio, which you can decide if you think she's trustworthy, but I think that she is being honest when she says to Agatha, he's not yours. Which makes me think now it's not Nicholas Scratch, so now I'm kind of back to my Wiccan theory. But this is what I mean. I feel like I'm dancing around with theories, but I kind of love that. I kind of love that each episode is making me change my mind on stuff as I get more information. It means each episode is giving me more information. I also thought it was interesting, though, because regardless of whether or not Teen is Agatha's son, I think something else is very clearly established for Agatha in this episode, and that is that she misses her son and that she has regret. And even when Teen asks her about what happened with her son, she just doesn't respond and is like coldly says, you better get ready to go soon, even though he almost just died, because we're going to keep walking. And her whole body changes when he asks about it. Like, she just completely seems prickled up. So I thought that was interesting. And it's also reflected in what Lilia says, because when Teen is in danger, she has one of her fortune-telly blurt out moments where she says Three of Swords, which in tarot, the Three of Swords represents usually a sense of emotional turmoil or torment or loss, heartbreak. So it could be that this is reflected in Agatha's emotion here and that Lilia was picking up on that. I really want to go back and write down like everything. I need to rewatch every episode. I'm going to rewatch every episode and comb through them for Easter eggs and stuff for you guys. But I love every time Lilia blurts something out and I'm like, ooh, this is something that's coming. This is something that's reflective of the moment. But anyways, we're at the halfway point. So we are in the tunnel in the dark, but soon we will see the other side. And I feel like this season is going by actually very fast. I kind of want it to be a little longer actually, but we'll see how I feel when we get to the end. Either way, I would say this episode overall rating, I'm going to give it, I think, a 4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5. I'm still solidly here for it. I'm still very intrigued. Once again, I feel like some of the trajectories are a little unclear, but I think, like I said, it's because we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. But I just want to see a little bit more, I guess, of a spark. But I think now that we're past the halfway point, the next few episodes are really gonna be going for it. And I think this is a show that might have a stronger finish even than a start based on what it's building. We shall see. We shall see if I'm right or wrong about this. And if there are other people that will appear as we go along the road. I would love some other magical folks to appear. That would be great. From the Marvel Universe. Or even from the cinematic universe as well. There are other people we've established. Where's Wong? Where is he? Let him arrive on the Witch's Road. I don't know. Can he go on the Witch's Road? I think Wong can go anywhere he wants, actually. That's how much I have faith in Wong. All right, that's all I have for this one, friends. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. But until then, as always, stay nerdy and bye!